Hi people, so I know a little while ago I held a vote on my Instagram as to whether you would all prefer to see this painting that I'm doing here today, or Scorpio in a crop top. And to my absolute delight, the vote went in favour of Scorpio in a crop top. But then I was practicing some cute poses, as you do, and I came across one that just worked perfectly for Catra and Adora, and as much as I love Scorpia, I tend to draw whatever the inspiration is there for, rather than attempting something that I don't actually know how to do yet. Plus I gave it a couple of sketch goes, and drawing her claws is really quite difficult. So here we are, drawing this adorable couple because why not, and because I felt like it. So, what to say about the drawing itself? First, a very important lesson I learned today, in perspective, that I didn't quite figure out in this, but isn't too noticeable unless you're looking for it, and that is that when you're drawing a bench that is heading towards the back of the piece, vanishing point applies, so the bench should be thinner at the back instead of just like, it shouldn't be rhombus shaped. But oh well. So it does look a little bit dodgy, but you can't tell unless you're looking for it, so now you all know it's there, but you're gonna pretend you didn't. The other thing that I noticed here, though, and have confirmed on subsequent sketches of characters like Crowley or Grell from Good Omens and Black Butler respectively, is that for some reason adding really long pointy nails to characters makes me draw hands about 20 times better. That said, I also really like the way I did Adora's hands in this piece, so maybe I was just having a good day on this painting and that isn't a rule, but I have recently found on some like traditional pieces and stuff, hands are just easier if you give people pointy nails. Don't ask why. Speaking of hands, I also had to draw feet for this painting, which is something I usually avoid at all costs, including toes, particularly Catra's little toes, obviously. As you can probably tell from the video, or will be able to tell when it makes it that far, it took me a little while to get it right, because whilst I logically know what a foot looks like, and I actually took my socks off and used my own feet as reference for this, trying to draw the toes in the right perspective, particularly when it's the little toe that's closest to the camera, not as easy as it looks. Well, actually no, it is as easy as it looks, and it looks not very easy. But I think I got there eventually, and I'm kind of quite proud and somehow impressed that adding claws to her toenails didn't make them look too weird. This was also the second in a number of paintings recently, where I've kind of gone all out with the backgrounds. The most recent one was the painting, I think that went up last week, of the girl in the flower field, but it's a trend that seems to be continuing into the rest of my work lately, and I'm liking it. In particular, I really like how the curtains turned out in this piece, and always appreciate the way that putting foreground elements in seems to make my paintings look more integrated and less like a character in front of a backdrop. But I'm also particularly happy with the general background on this one, which is unusual, and really glad that I spent the time to collect references from the show itself to make it look more accurate. That said, I will admit that the plant in the background is a bit subpar and probably could have been left out as it's the only green item in the whole painting, and colour theory, you know, but hindsight really is 2020, I guess. Apart from that green plant though, the colour balance in the background is just beautiful, which is of course partly down to She-Ra's absolutely stunning visuals, so I can't really take the credit for that. I've been rewatching the show recently, and I still get struck with just how brilliant it looks. Even the Crimson Waste, which is supposed to be the equivalent of a massive hellhole where people go to die, is so interesting and pretty, and it's got all these different shapes, and it's just awesome, and I will never get over how nice this show looks, but I'm running out of adjectives here, so I'm going to have to shut up about it. Also, as a side note, I drew Adora's sword in the background here, and I really like how shiny it came out. Finally, there's the characters themselves. One of my favourite things about doing fan art is I've usually drawn the characters before, or I usually end up revisiting them eventually if I like the ship or the character that I'm drawing. And getting to compare current drawings to my last attempt always just makes me so happy to see how much I've grown. So for this one, how much I've grown since February, which is kind of insane, and it just really inspires me to keep going and draw more. I've heard several artists give the advice of, you know, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself. And I know everyone's heard it and it's very cliched, but seriously, I thoroughly advise that because it just makes me so happy to see how far I've come, particularly when you don't realise that the time's passed so quickly. I also think that the characters look a lot more like themselves in this drawing than the last time I drew the two of them, although maybe not as stylized as they did last time. The background is certainly a million times better though, and that improvement makes me really happy. I used to go through a phase where I thought I had to, like, I don't know, desaturate the background or something to make the characters stand out more. But actually, I think there are different ways to do it, and I can't work out quite what I've done here that makes it different and makes it better. But it's certainly not by desaturating everything, because that just turned into a bit of a hot mess. Anyway, point is, the improvement has made me really happy, and I'm really proud of this piece. It's probably one of the best pieces I've done so far, I think. So what do you guys think? Do you like this painting? Do you think I've actually improved that much? Comment down below, and as usual, I will make an effort to reply to everyone. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I will see you next week, where I will most likely be drawing another of my favourite ships, because that's the mood I'm in right now. Obviously though, feel free to comment suggestions of things you'd like me to draw down in the comments. I can't promise I will get round to them, but I always like to see what you guys would like me to be drawing. So have a lovely week, all of you, and I will see you next time. Bye.